And there's one superstar that we didn't touch on in the regular episode just because not that much happened, but it's worth noting. James Harden. James Harden reportedly has requested a trade from the 76ers. I've heard things about the Clippers. He could be going to the Clippers. We've heard things about him returning to the Rockets, but I just think that's off the table.
Yeah.
And it's strange. It is strange. He's in a winning situation. You got arguably the best big man in the NBA on the team. The MVP, Joel Embiid. You still got, Tyrese Maxey, who's an up-and-coming guard on his team. And they still have a great shot of going to the NBA Finals. Then you bring in Nick Nurse, who won the championship and is a good coach. So I don't understand James Harden requesting the trade out of this. I just don't. I don't know what he's seeing or not seeing, but let's just go ahead and talk about it. Matt, what you make out of James Harden wanting to go to another team now?
I'm with you. I'm kind of scratching my head too. Originally I was hearing, return to Houston. Obviously that's off the table now with them signing Fred VanVleet. But now I'm hearing he wants to go play with Kawhi and Paul George in LA. Maybe he could be the missing piece there. We obviously know how all the injury problems they've had the past couple of years. You would kind of provide them some sort of insurance policy when they miss time. But I thought he was a good fit with Philly, so I'm not too sure if something happened in the locker room or what's the deal here. But yeah, if it does happen, I think it's probably going to be the Clippers, and I could also see it being like a 3-team deal. It'd be kind of funny. Maybe a Dame will be involved, and Dame will end up in Philly, and then which would suck for Miami. But yeah. I'm kind of lost. I kind of thought he and Embiid were forming some good chemistry. I do know that Philly did make it known that Tyrese Maxey is absolutely untouchable. So obviously they have high faith in him and his potential. So you bring in Nick Nurse, who I trust a little bit more as a coach than I did Doc Rivers. So I don't know if he's just, feels like, the Clippers give him a better chance of winning now or what the deal is. But yeah, I guess that's kind of the only destination I could see for him right now.
Mike, what's your overall reaction to James Harden seemingly want out of Philly?
I mean, are we surprised at this point anymore with James Harden? I mean, we
not.
We see the type of person he is. Now, I'm not saying he's not trying to win or any of that nature, but if you don't want to be in a situation, he's requesting a trade. So I'm not surprised, but why not stay in Philly? Why not stay with the MVP? Why not build the continuity again? You got a new coach coming in. You got Nick Nurse, who's won a championship before. Why not see what pieces they can get? They've already been talking about maybe moving Tobias Harris. Now, I know they said, Tyrese Maxey is off limits. That's all cool and fine. But if you can get Dame, I ain't trying to hear none of that. But besides that, James Harden could work in with the Clippers. He can be a pure point for them. But the question is health. Paul George and Kawhi Leonard going to be there in the playoffs? I mean, you kind of have to deal with that in Philly, but I think you can count on Embiid at this point in his career more than Paul George and Kawhi. So I think you go back to Philly, but I'm not surprised by him requesting a trade. I seen an interview. It was Michael Rubin. I forgot who was interviewing him, but he was just doubling down on how James is committed to winning. Well, if you're committed to winning, then I say you stay with Embiid, see what moves. Daryl Morey has already proven to you time and time again. He will try to make moves to make sure this team can compete for a championship. Like, he's showing you that in Houston, came to Philly. He's showing you that in Philly. Why not trust in him? See what your new coach is bringing to the table. See with another year with Embiid, because I mean, the as far as pick and roll, Embiid and Harden are one of the best in the league, if not the best. So I think it's up there, comparable to Jamal Murray and Jokic. Like, it's that good. So why not try to continue to build off of that? I'm not sure. I don't know if it's he wants the ball more thing, he wants to shoot more. But if you go to the Clippers and everyone's healthy, because that's how we're looking at it, you're going to be the pure point guard for them because you got Kawhi and Paul George. So I'm not really sure what his end goal is. I think he should try to stay in Philly, but the Clippers aren't a bad option. And you already brought it up, Matt. I think a 3-team trade between the Clippers, Philly, and Brooklyn is plausible. I mean, it could be any team in there to get the right pieces where you need it to be. But if I'm James Harden, I'm staying in Philly. I'm working out a contract. I'm seeing what Daryl Morey is going to do with a Tyrese Maxey or a Tobias Harris, see if you can bring in something better and trying to work it out there, because I don't think coming out to the Wild Wild West is a smart idea, especially when you look at Kawhi and Paul George's injury history, man. You just can't count on those guys.
Then they just re-signed Russell Westbrook. So
is he coming off the bench now? I mean, he only making $8 million, so maybe, but he's played with him before, so I'm not saying it's impossible. But this was a guy who was considering going to Houston, to shoot more. So I mean, okay, Westbrook, Kawhi, Paul George, then you got some young talent in that team, Terrence Mann. I mean, I don't know, though. I don't really know what the thought process is. Go back to Philly, dog. Get it done out there, man.
Stay in Philly. Just
simple.
Stay it out one more year at least.
You getting paid. I mean,
it's still right. You opted in. You got $36 million coming your way.
So I don't understand this. And if it ain't what you wanted to be, guess what? Now you go into unrestricted free agency next year. Find you a new team, or if it's everything that it was supposed to be, you go back.
Yeah, like go ahead, Matt.
He and Embiid led the league in teammate assists to each other or something like that.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah. I don't understand what James Harden wants. I don't know what he wants. I remember a long time ago on Crown Hoops podcast, we had Mike. We had talked about what's our hot take. And my hot take was I don't think James Harden would ever win an NBA title, and he's shown why. He's shown
the current trajectory not looking good. I think if you leave Philly and you go somewhere else, it gets even worse. Like the trajectory of you not winning a title gets even worse. I think your best shot is with Philly, with the Embiid in his prime. Right.
I was just about to say that. Is your best shot is with Philly. I think you should stay with Philly at least one more year. You done well. He's transitioned great to a second scorer. He's averaging 10 assists with Philly. But, I don't get it unless he's just tired of people questioning him in the playoffs, but you're going to have that ghost follow you everywhere. So we'll see what happens with James Harden. I don't think he's going to get traded overall, in my opinion, but hey, crazy if things has happened. This was the Extra Pass James Harden edition. We're going to keep our eye on him. Please make sure you check out our regular episode, the NBA free agency special. We'll see you next time. Yeah, what the hell is wrong with James Harden?
You drunk?